You asked for an appointment here in my office. I hope this is going to be important, but I doubt it. It's about the volunteer sheriff's program. Oh, great. We've been over this. A volunteer sheriff's program ordinarily means that responsible citizens help out the sheriff's department in some auxiliary capacity. It doesn't mean that some yahoo with a baseball bat takes it on himself to enforce the law. I paid good money for that bat. What else am I supposed to do with it? Play baseball? In Reason? Lolling and Leisure magazine did rank Reason as one of the top 10 most sedentary towns in America. Thank you, Barney. I don't imagine you can find very many players, but I can help you organize an amateur league with 2 or 3 teams. Don't change the subject. You're the one who brought up baseball. This is about the sheriff's department. Did you know that in most counties sheriffs are elected? Yes, and I also know that voter turnout in this county is dangerously low and that election may not be the best way to fill such a responsible office. And so you as mayor saw fit to appoint a sheriff. I did. And why, if I may ask, did you appoint Henry Taylor when several others expressed an interest in the position? The fact that he didn't want to do it was a good start. There was no money in the budget to pay him, so he really is a volunteer sheriff. And there isn't much crime in this town, and it's a comfort to know our sheriff won't create problems when there's nothing wrong to begin with. We've put a pole in the field, and by that you mean you've been pestering your drinking buddies at the pheasant plucker. And based on strong support, we've circulated a petition. A petition that circulated only within the walls of that same establishment. And we have no fewer than 11 signatures calling for the office of sheriff to be decided by an election, rather than remain a mayoral appointment. 11? Wow. But I'm not obligated to obey petitions, not even those with overwhelming support. We've shown you the courtesy of bringing this to you directly, but since you refuse to listen, we're going to take this to the streets. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I'm pretty certain that these streets will lie outside this office, so if this gets you to leave, I'll take my chances. Barney, why are you and Simon walking around in a circle? If there was any traffic, you'd be disrupting it. And what's with all the yelling? Those of us without arms aren't able to carry placards, and so we've chosen to voice our protests. And what are you protesting? Simon should be sheriff. You tend to follow Simon around and act as his flunky, and I know that's mean to say, but it is true. So what do you get out of Simon being sheriff? Simon's going to make me his deputy. You're already the town mailman and you run your own business. You want to take this on as well? Nobody wants the mail except for the Victoria's Secrets catalog, and I can always duck out of work. You mean leave your customers to serve themselves alcohol while you're out enforcing the law? I'm having a sign made. It reads, "Please enjoy responsibly." Bold print and everything. Very emphatic. I suppose if it's good enough for the State Lottery Commission, but you guys are outside of the crosswalk and you're waddling around in the middle of the street. That street happens to be empty, but you're still breaking traffic law. I see. You're going to call your boyfriend down here so he can crack some skulls. Nobody's cracking skulls, but can you please stay on the sidewalk in case a car does come along? If we stay on the sidewalk, we can only be seen from one side of the street. But you know that, don't you? Mayor Lindenbrook is unfair. Vote yes on 632. Wally, you're out here too? And do you really want Simon to be sheriff? Didn't he bully you in high school? Is that what we're chanting for? Emily's usually unfair, so I didn't ask too many questions. Why are you with these two in the first place? They're paying me $7 an hour to protest with them. You do know that's below the federal minimum wage. They're also supplying me with all the beer I can drink, and pee breaks aren't subtracted from my hours. On that subject, you're not urinating in the street, are you? No, Henry's letting us use the bathroom at the Betamax. Of course he is. And what is Proposition 632 anyway? It's to hold an election for the position of sheriff. With Barney's likely being the only name on the ballot unless Henry decides to contest it. But 632? What were 1 through 631? This isn't the first time Simon's gone unheeded. Simon McCardle for sheriff would be much clearer, but that would be probably too clear, wouldn't it? You see what's going on outside? I told them if they keep the obscenity down, they can yell all they want. It's still early, and they're not keeping anybody up. But they're right in the middle of Main Street. They're a bunch of dinosaurs stomping around in an empty street. They're not going to get hit by any vehicles. And you're letting Wally use your bathroom? He must be in here every 10 minutes. Velociraptors are small, as are their bladders. If I don't let him go in here, he'll just whiz in some alley and then I'll have to do something about it. Whatever they're doing, as long as Simon's nonsense doesn't end in property damage, it's just best to ignore him. You seem kind of worked up about this. You should be too. They're attacking you. They're what now? The whole protest is to allow Simon to run for sheriff. No one wants Simon to be sheriff. There's nothing to worry about. Don't be so sure. Remember all those write-in votes for Brexit? And we're not even part of the United Kingdom. Nothing's going to come from this. And here we are. This has gone further than I anticipated, but still, you have no reason to worry. I can't believe Emily caved, and now you have to debate that lunatic in public. She allowed this election to go forward so Simon can have his say. When he's repudiated, he'll shut up for a while and we'll all benefit. And she has given me her endorsement. You keep saying things won't go any further or get any crazier, and then they do. It's a debate. We'll stand there, Simon will spout his lunacy, and then it's over. Sheriffs don't set policy, so I don't see why we're even holding a debate. Sorry, it's time to go in. Each candidate will be asked a question from the audience and will have 60 seconds to respond. Our first question will come from Barney Malone. Henry, what do you plan to do about the graffiti artist terrorizing Reason? I wouldn't say he's terrorizing the town. We do have to paint over what he defaces, and that comes out of our general repair and maintenance budget. He painted a picture of a pig committing an unspeakable act with a chicken on the Route 51 overpass. A lot of my customers go under that very overpass, and they were traumatized by what they saw. I want to know why you haven't caught this fiend. Barney, your customers use your bathroom, so they're probably pretty hardened. And this graffiti artist is a nuisance, but he strikes at around 3 a.m. when everybody is sleeping, including me. We thought of putting up cameras at spots he's hit repeatedly, but we have to find money in the budget for that. So you intend to do nothing but scoff at the problem and belittle my patrons. Should he be allowed to follow up on his own questions like that? Simon McCardle, same question. Unlike the incumbent, I don't take it lightly when some monster defaces our fair town, and if I'm elected sheriff, I will not rest, I will not sleep, until this fiend is caught and brought to justice. So you're not going to sleep. Seriously. With our law enforcement resources, that could take weeks or months, and you're not going to sleep. Henry, Simon does have the floor. Sorry, but can you really take such an unfulfillable and irresponsible promise seriously? Sheriff Taylor, in 1977, this running back rushed for 1,007 yards. What are you talking about? Football? Is anybody else can ask a question? Answer the question, sir. I have no idea. It was 1977 for crying out loud. Simon McCardle, same question. That would be the one and only Tony Dorsett. This question is for Simon. Sergeant Bo Bergdahl is currently on trial for desertion. If found guilty, what should be his punishment? The man's a coward and a traitor, and he should be executed. Simon's not a federal judge. How is his opinion in any way relevant? Sheriff Taylor, Simon still has the floor. You've already been warned once. Okay, Henry, you want the floor, so here goes. In 1976, the Dallas Cowboys defeated this team to win the NFC Championship and advance to the Super Bowl. I don't know. The Minnesota Vikings? Ron. Simon McCardle, same question. The Los Angeles Rams. Drew Pearson really tore it up in that one, didn't he? Yes, he certainly did. I don't see why we're answering questions about the Dallas Cowboys. Well, they are America's team, but I suppose if we were answering questions about the New York Jets or the San Francisco 69ers, you'd be all over this. And that's all the time we have. You won. That's what's important. I guess, but why did every question have to come from that goof Barney? Couldn't you ask me something? I tried. I was waving my arms. Hell, I spent most of the debate standing on my chair, but Emily wouldn't call on me. When I see her next, I'm going to give her a piece of my mind. But you won. Yes, I did get a few more votes than Simon, but the vast majority were write-ins for Jack Bauer. He won in a landslide, but since he's fictional, he's not available to assume office, and the job's still mine.